Hello, my name is Lilly Hutchins, and I'll be presenting on the benefits and effectiveness of plyometric training. So plyometric training is a form of power training that can provide sport-specific improvements, can improve force production within musculotendinous units, and can prevent injury. So if you have trained for any type of sport or have played sports, you have likely done some form of plyometric exercises without even realizing it. So in high school, I played volleyball, and my junior and senior year, we as a team went to a personal trainer and we did a lot of different exercises. And I later realized that some of them were, in fact, plyometric exercises. So our textbook defines plyometrics as quick, powerful movement using a pre-stretch or counter movement that involves the stretch shortening cycle. So if you're unfamiliar with the stretch shortening cycle, it's composed of 3 phases. The first phase is the eccentric phase, which is the muscle lengthening phase. Next is the amortization phase, which is the pause between the first and third phases. And then last, the concentric phase is the muscle shortening phase. So during the stretch shortening cycle, force production is increased in the musculotendinous unit by utilizing stored elastic energy. So as the muscle lengthens in the eccentric phase, elastic energy is produced and stored, and then in the concentric phase, that stored energy is used to produce force in the musculotendinous unit. So this graphic is from the NSCA website, and if you want to pause and read it, I think it sums up plyometrics quite well. Some of the benefits of plyometric training are sport-specific improvements, and I looked at 2 different articles. One was from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning, and the other was from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, and they both provided evidence to support that plyometric training does, in fact, provide sport-specific improvements. They both looked at jump performance improvement after plyometric training, and then one of them looked at jump performance as well as speed improvement after plyometric training. And then the next benefit is that plyometric training develops strength and power. So my second article that I looked at, the third article was from the Indian Journal of Physiotherapy and Occupational Therapy, and it supported that plyometric training could produce strength. And I think it looked at the shoulder. And then the next benefit is reduces risk of injury. So as our muscles are strengthened during the plyometric exercises, our ligaments and tendons don't have to work as hard to stabilize our joints and other bones. So your risk of injury decreases. Some risks of plyometric training are overtraining. As with any other form of training, is important that you have enough time to rest and recover between sessions as well as between sets. So I looked at an article from the Journal of Athletic Training, and it looked at how plyometric training impacted type 2 fibers and emphasized the importance of rest and recovery. And then injury due to poor mechanics. So as you can see from this graphic, it is important that you are conducting these exercises appropriately so that you don't, as this person did, land inappropriately on the box or coming off the box or on top of the box. It is important that you land with both feet planted so that you don't risk maybe spraining your ankle or tearing a ligament. And then finally, developing a sample program. First, it's important that you do a needs analysis for your athlete, and then analyze the sport or position that they play so that you can see what type of movements are common. And then that will help you determine the frequency of sessions, intensity and volume of the session, and then what recovery time is appropriate. So in the text, it describes a beginner plyometric athlete should do between 80 and 100 touches, and then an intermediate athlete should do 100 to 120, and then an advanced athlete should do 120 to 140. And the text also says that the average program length for a plyometric training session is 6 to 10 weeks, but it also said that improvements in vertical jump can be seen within only 4 weeks. And then it also emphasizes the importance of technique, especially in younger athletes like adolescents, because they're still developing and learning the proper techniques. So on the right side, there is a sample program, which I kind of copied from the text, and it pairs resistance training with plyometrics within the same session. So as they did high intensity upper body exercises, they paired it with low intensity lower body, which emphasizes rest and recovery. So an example of a low intensity lower body exercise would be like a squat jump or standing long jump. And then a high intensity upper body plyometric exercise would be like a power drop or a depth push up. And then a high intensity lower body exercise would be like a single leg hop, cycled split squat jump. And then for lower intensity upper body would be like a two-handed overhead throw or a chest pass. So I think the text said that plyometrics is best done alongside another training form, but it can also be done on its own. And I would suggest if you're going to do plyometrics as its own session, that you should just work the full body, just because the training session would be really short. And then, but I also think that it's best alongside resistance training or other form of training, just so that you can maximize your benefits. But yes, so I think plyometrics is good to incorporate, especially for athletes, because you are able to get different benefits that like a resistance training session wouldn't provide, such as like ability or agility or like reactive jumps. So like I said, in volleyball, there's a lot of jumping. So like a depth jump would be a good exercise you could use to help like a hitter be able to react and jump or block. And then finally, I have all my sources that I used. Thank you.